Hello, my friend, and welcome or welcome back. It's good to see you here today. Chapter 2: The Mystery in the Kitchen. You make your way out into the downstairs hallway to be stared at by loud, modern art. You wonder where everybody is. The living room door is open, and you take the opportunity to use the litter box in peace and quiet. When you're done, you stretch, pointing each leg in turn out behind you as far as it will go. The mute screen of the television reflects your feline form, and you wander over to sniff its cool, flat surface. You're hungry. Somewhere around, there'll be a room where all the food lives. It means there are still doors you need to train these humans to open. Doors like, with a sense of discomfort, it occurs to you that the only door that has been closed this entire time you've been here is the room with the snuffling noises. All other rooms have showed no signs of smell or proper food stores. No big white appliances for making food cold. No strange magic surfaces for making food cooked. You pad over slowly to the door that yesterday bubbled with sounds. This morning it is silent, but still tightly shut. As you wonder what to do, the swish of a silk robe catches your ears. Claire. She croaks in some blurry-eyed language that may not make sense before she's had a cup of coffee. She rubs her eyes and heads for the door. So will you start scratching at the door as a blatant command that Claire should open it? Steer her by getting under her feet, thus subtly ensuring she goes where I want her to. Sit staring at her expectantly. My very existence should remind her of her responsibilities. Frantically find a place to hide in the laundry room until Claire has gone in first. So which option would you take?
Start scratching at the door.
Okay, so first option?
Yep.
I know you're hungry. Claire's smile upon seeing you is more like an awkward twist of guilt. She reaches down, using strokes to distract you from ruining the door. We'll do some proper shopping for you today, okay? Claire turns the handle. Ugh! She falls back a step as a leaping yellow beast hits her paws first in the chest. As she struggles with its great licking jaws, you feel all of your hair stand on end. A wet nose, massive eyes, a smell that is utterly, reekingly, unmistakably dog. I know, Bene, I know, says Claire. A whole night by yourself just waiting to meet Odin. The dog called Bene has made Claire's morning brighter in one wag of a tail, despite what looks to you more like a wrestling match than a cross-species hug it actually is. She rubs Bene's shoulders vigorously with both hands before taking his paws and placing them gently on the carpet. Bene continues to wash her face with his tongue until Claire straightens up. Good dog, Claire says, wiping her mouth as Bene opts for dashing around on all fours instead. She grabs him, soothing his excitement as best as she can as she leads him farther out into the kitchen. Patience, my love. You can meet Odin when you're less likely to freak him out with your enthusiasm. She turns and locates you with her eyes. Bene slips out of his collar. Bene, no! Claire calls after him as his flapping ears and lumbering paws head for you. Come here! But Bene does not come here. In fact, there's almost no time to think about whether he's a potential ally or whether it's safer to scare him into obedience. No sooner has Claire cried out a warning that Bene just wants to be friends than this great canine creature is upon you, tongue lolling, a jovial spring in his step. He is, obviously, going to crush me. Clearly keen to play, a graceless, slavering fool in need of a lesson, or overwhelming, whatever the hell he's thinking. Okay, so which one do you think it's going to be?
The third one.
Third, a graceless, slavering fool in need of a lesson. Let's see. There's a prickling all over your skin, and you know without looking that the hairs on your back are all raised. You look twice your original size, though of course Bene is still much larger. While Claire looks on with gritted teeth, you claw him in the nose. Friends? Try master-slave dialect, fool. Retreat and leap out of the way. I can't be his friend if I'm dead. Bare my fangs and hiss at him. The priority is obviously making sure he stops. All right, which option would you take, bud?
Claw him in the nose.
Okay, we're gonna claw him in the nose. Your swipe lands in soft, wet nose flesh. Claire's eyes narrow as Bene lets out a howl. Oh, Bene, she says, rushing to comfort the crestfallen dog. Nasty cat. Her vitriolic follow-up is slung at you with a scowl. When Bene has stopped shaking, she tenderly slips back on his collar. Glowering as she passes you, she leads him away into the kitchen. Claire stands for a minute and rubs her temples. Her phone starts to vibrate in her pocket, and she lets out a groan before tapping at the screen. Her brow furrows, and the tapping continues. You take in the vastness of the kitchen. Double fridge, big pantry, cupboards, a table. There's enough space in here for a ton of great food. There's also space for a Labrador. Over in the corner, Bene jiggles with excitement in his basket. Having been told to sit and stay several times, his canine mind is a thematic tug-of-war between obedience and checking you out more. One move from you could actually tip the balance. Bene starts up with a pathetic, high-pitched whine. Stay calm, don't move. If we both keep our cool, food will arrive faster. Bare your fangs to sucker Bene into flipping out and getting punished. Try calming Bene down by rubbing myself affectionately against his basket, or remove myself slowly. Benny'll calm down, and I'll have some peace and quiet. So what option should we go with now?
Remove.
Okay, we're going to remove myself slowly. As slowly as you can, you edge backward. You'll be darkened by shadow when you get to the lee of a cupboard. Bene's stare is just so bloody unnerving, and you feel instinct kick in over logic. Your hair prickles up into fighting formation. Bow, ow, ow! Bene rushes toward you in a storm of excitement and tail wags. Claire, who's as shaken awake by the whole thing as you are, leaps in to grab him by the collar. Oh, for God's sake, Bene, what's gotten into you this morning? She asks him, pulling him back toward his bed and issuing more orders to sit and stay. At least now that that's done, she's finally moving toward the refrigerator. Time to deal with your breakfasts, she says. Bene's ears rise, and he leaps from his basket. He hasn't been released from the instructions to sit, but it's obvious that he knows the word breakfast, and that it trumps all the rest of his vocabulary, with the likely exception of dinner. He bumbles around Claire's legs with his tail a wag, exactly the sort of method you'd use to increase a human's incentive to feed you. Perhaps he's not as simple as he looks. What have we got here? Says Claire, making it to the fridge despite the spiraling whirlpool of dog. She stares at the backlit contents like she's hoping to invoke something's existence. Unable to circle, Bene sits at her feet, looking up at her. I've got you figured out, Bene, Claire says. It's Odin I'm worried about. Her thinking is too slow for you this morning. I can't really give him dog food, she continues. I need to make amends somehow for last night's utter horror. She hauls out the roll of dog food all the same, slicing off an ugly chunk for Bene. He eats loudly from his bowl as Claire continues her search for something suitable for you. We have cans and more cans, she sighs. Canned chicken soup, canned beef ravioli, canned baked beans and sausages. She folds her arms and scowls at each tin in turn, like each has in some way contributed to the hopelessness of this situation. To hell with it, I'll open all three. You can have them in here and eat what bits you like. How's that? It sounds like the world's most depressing smorgasbord. Tolerable, but I will pick out the good bits. No way! I'm guilting her into finding something else. Alright, what would you go with?
The second option.
Tolerable? Okay. That's probably what I would have chosen too. The good bits turn out to be chicken. Of course, you have to prise them out from quivering, jaundiced-looking jelly in order to actually eat them. Plate 2 is just a beanie sea of constant disappointment. You don't feel confident that the sausages you rescue are even really meat. You're unsure about the ravioli too, and the boring but safe taste of common cat food has grown in appeal. As you extract what you can from this underwhelming offering, you hear Andre come into the kitchen. Having gotten all you can from this disaster of a breakfast, you stalk off in a grump toward the table. On the floor to the right is a fat-looking cushion, cream with blue trim to match the kitchen. It has fallen off one of the chairs and landed directly in the sunlight. You pat it a few times until its shape and give are pleasing. You curl up and shut your eyes. Your dreams are full of matching sets of hand towels, unsettling modern art done in canned food on canvas, drowning in a sea of goo while trying to find a chicken, or barely comprehensible cat stuff. What do you think he's dreaming about?
Second one.
Unsettling modern art. It does sound unsettling. Okay, I accidentally just skipped a page, and unfortunately, I can't find a way to go back other than to completely restart. Now, it was basically a discussion between Claire and Andre about Claire missing saying goodbye to their daughter when she headed off to school. So I'm not sure how much of a difference that change is going to make in the story going forward, but hopefully not too much. Claire gives him a kiss on the cheek, and the talk turns to whether Moon has all the stuff she needs for preschool. Andre clearly has it covered, and when the two finish talking, Claire grabs a bag and a case from near the table. Jangling her keys, she kisses Andre once again goodbye. Bene gets all excited, a yellow streak of blind enthusiasm bouncing between the pair of them, wagging his tail and trying to lick their hands. "Oops, keys," says Andre, closing Claire's hand tenderly in his own to still the clink of metal. Bene thinks it's W-A-L-K. Claire manages to extricate herself from Bene's misled expectations. The still hopeful dog transfers his desires onto Andre, remaining irreparably jovial. He tails Andre closely as a leash and plastic bags are hunted down. You're subjected to a running commentary on the contents of Andre's busy head. "Be glad I've got first period free, Bene." Andre stands on his tiptoes to feel through the clutter on the top of the fridge. "Dang, I can't find your tennis ball." The word ball turns Bene from an annoyance to a whirlwind. He skitters around the room, skidding on the tile in his excitement. "Got it." Andre waves his hand in triumph, turning to you as he stuffs the ball into one of his many plastic bags. Bene skitters toward the kitchen windows, which means nearer to you. "Aha! You two have made friends then." Andre's optimism about Bene's reason for being closer to you knows no bounds. "Step up, Odin. Old Bene wants to play." Given what you've taught Bene so far, you doubt it's you he wants to play with. That said, the extent of his excitement might have frayed his mind a little. He skates toward you, his eyes still fixated on Andre. Do you blatantly scratch him? Everyone should know that I don't do alliances with dogs. Go for sly, psychological nastiness. Be friendly, then claw him when Andre isn't looking. Keep on his good side by playing a game he might like. Or bail. This whole situation is too potentially dangerous for comfort.
The first one.
All right. Your claws fly out to catch Bene's flapping jowls. His joy is stopped dead and he lets out a whimper. Andre rushes to his aid. "Bene, old boy, are you okay?" He glowers in your direction. "I do believe Odin got up on the wrong side of the planet today. Come on, let's leave him on his own for a bit, till he's a little less offensive." Andre finally starts to pull on his boots, thumping him on the tile until chunks of mud fly. "Remind me to sweep all that up when we get back, okay, boy?" He gives Bene a wink, adding, "The big park today. That sounds good?" "It sounds fantastic, in your opinion. Dog, adults, child, all gone, so you have free range of the house." As your mind turns to the possibilities, the pair start to walk toward the window. Andre pauses and leans to one side, stretching out an arm. You hear the sudden blast of an official-sounding voice. "Sorry, guys," he shouts, turning the radio down to a saner level. "I thought I'd leave this on so you could have some company, Odin. We used to do this for you when you were a puppy, Bene. Do you remember?" He smiles fondly. It made you more calm. Regardless of whether the fact you're a cat and not a puppy has escaped him, Andre seems pleased with his idea. You, on the other hand, are more interested in the fact that he's about to walk straight into a window again. It's Bene who stops first, while Andre grabs a lever on a beam and wrenches it upward. The oddest thing happens. The The floor-to-ceiling window bends outward from the rest of the glass. The lever, clearly halfway between magic and mirage, has transformed the window into a door, a real one, because the two of them exit the house through it. You're then alone, alone with the puzzling new information that windows can be doors. Music mixed with static pops and fizzes in the background. You try and focus. Humans aren't wrong that household pets seem calm when there's a radio left on. Radios, cats discovered, are a wealth of information, which, if listened to, can gain you useful insights that might one day come in handy. It's been gleaned, for example, that humans trapped in radios like to spread their suffering to listeners by regularly talking about weather, violent crime, disasters, or pointless games for creatures with two legs. The useful applications for these phenomena remain unknown, but the commentaries on music are more obvious. Sentences like, "Coming up, we have Justin Bieber," for example, are not just information on who wrote or sang a tune, but also double as a cue to find a place to sleep elsewhere. When the static subsides, it's much easier to listen. Besides, what's on the airwaves, there's obviously still much to learn in this house full of options and surprises. With luck, you'll have sufficient time to scope a few things out. The big park, Andre mentioned, isn't likely to be massive, so you'll have to set priorities. Considering your options, the one that most appeals to you is spying on Helmet the Cat Basher to get a proper feel for just how bad he is, analyzing the radio for clues about what a hit is, leaping at that lever so I can get outside too. I can't handle this lack of attention. Or rummaging through Claire's room for info I can use to my advantage. What are we going to choose?
The second.
Second, analyzing the radio for clues about what a hit is. The ingeniousness of radios is apparent when you sniff them. You do this now, nose gliding and whiskers twitching. You go over and over its plastic knobs and dials, but cannot find the people inside it. It's apparent that the mysteries run deeper than you thought. The voices must be in there on their own, minus a body. That really is quite something. Humans have two words for magic. Magic for circusy things involving horses and glitter that are of no real interest, and electricity, a subset of magic that is totally bedazzling to cats. This radio is definitely the latter. Voices droned. Your thrill at the wonder of broadcasting lasts right up until a song comes on. It's sadly unbedazzling. The odd bit is the chorus. Oh, 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 yes, you, baby, yeah. You sit through it wondering if the singer forgot all of his lines. You learn many things all the same, such as what rhymes with love and with baby, and that all songs must be about the latter two things, or they clearly won't fit inside the radio. You're finally relieved of the music when a woman comes on to read the weather. You fall into an unwitting nap to the comfortable drone of her voice. All right, we are going to stop here for the day. As I think I've said several times now, I'm really, really, really impressed with how much they give you for the demo here. It really makes you aware of just how much would be available in the full game. We will try to continue on and see how much this demo actually gives us. But for now, my voice needs a break, and I think my son's getting a little bit antsy. So we'll see you very soon with the next part. Have a wonderful day, and thanks for stopping by.